Today we're in the beautiful Banff National Park. It's gorgeous here. This is the iconic famous spot, Lake Louise. Today I wanted to showcase creating some cinematic films using only your iPhone. I have an iPhone 7 and I think you can do a lot with this phone, and the camera on it's pretty good. I think there's some tips and tricks I can show you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna put together a little cinematic reel and show you guys how to do it too. So let's check it out. Shit, it's cold out here. Okay, good. Alright, so one of the first tips is to record using manual settings, because if you use your phone by itself, just normally, it's probably going to be on automatic, and I think that footage will probably tend to look a little bit amateur. So there's an app you can get on the App Store called Filmic Pro. By the way, these tips are on the iPhone. I'm sure there's probably comparable stuff for the Android stuff, but this is all on the iPhone. So I'm going to load up an app called Filmic Pro. This will allow me to set manual settings. So we've got open Filmic Pro, and I am going to go down here into the settings, change the resolution to 1080p, and then this is big, the bitrate down here at the bottom I'm setting to extreme. I think by default it's on filmic quality. I'm going to set it to extreme so it's recording the highest quality possible. I'm also going to go into frame rate and set it to 60 because I want to get it to be in slow motion. I think it'll look a lot better. You guys can also record in 24p if you want it to look more cinematic. And then down here at the bottom left is the exposure lock, or the exposure settings. This will allow you to dial in a manual exposure. You can move the exposure wherever you want, wherever you want to. Let's move it in our case to the sides of the mountains here, and we'll tap it to lock it in. Same thing with focus. There we go. Now I can move the camera any direction and it's not going to change focus or exposure. And I think those are usually things that are kind of dead giveaways that make the iPhone footage look pretty amateur. Alright guys, so we've come inside from the cold. I want to show you guys one more quick tip on how to make iPhone footage look so much better. It'll give the quality of the footage that little extra oomph. Let's jump into our editing software and check it out. Alright guys, so jumping right in. For the sake of this video, I'm using Adobe Premiere, which is part of the Adobe Creative Cloud suite of software. So if you have Photoshop and Illustrator, chances are you have Premiere as well. If you're looking to do this in Final Cut 10, that's possible as well. And if you don't have either of those pieces of software, there's also apps on the phone. Like on the iPhone, there's an app called Chromic that will allow you to add color grading as well. So for the sake of this video, to keep things short, I'm going to do another video that's a longer tutorial on color grading, but for this video, we're going to keep it pretty simple. I've already selected a handful of clips from my phone that I've imported, and these clips already look so good. These are filmed in 60 frames a second, so I've slowed them down, and I think they already look pretty awesome. These are all shot with the handheld stabilizer. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come down here to this little new item button. We're going to click on adjustment layer, press OK. Drag the adjustment layer over on one of the upper layers, and basically whatever we put in the adjustment layer is going to affect all the clips underneath it. So we're going to add what's called a LUT, L-U-T. Basically a LUT is a quick way of doing color grading. You don't have to get into anything complex or advanced. It's just a quick way to add some cool color to your video footage. So I already went before this video and I downloaded LUTs from a guy named Juan Malara. You can find paid ones online or free. This guy has some free ones. If you search Google for free LUTs, you'll find a bunch. So this is a free one I've already downloaded. We are going to now click on the adjustment layer. Over on the right hand side, we're going to go to Lumetri Color. And then underneath Lumetri Color, there's several tabs: Basic, Creative, Curves. We're going to click on Creative. And then under where it says Look, we're going to click on that, press Browse. And then this is the folder that I've already unzipped that has this guy's LUTs in it. So I'm going to click and use the first one for the sake of this video. Open. And you can already see that the color up top has changed. It's a little intense right now, but you can see that it's changed and it's applying to all the video clips. We are going to dial it back a little bit because it's way too intense right now, and it's almost crushed the shadows entirely to where I can't even really see Tyler's hair anymore. So I'm going to dial back this intensity slider, which basically just is the strength of the LUT on top of your footage. So I'm gonna dial it back to maybe like around 60%. And there you go. That was a super quick step. It's applied to all my clips. Let's see, I'll turn it off and on for you guys so you can see the difference. Looks pretty good. And then in one final step, I'll show you guys to make it look even more cinematic. If we come over to Effects, let's search for Crop, click on Crop, and then up here in the top left, we'll go to Effect Controls, and there's a section where we applied the crop right here. We'll put 10% on top and 10% on bottom. And then you have the letterbox look as well. So that went from being pretty good iPhone footage to, I think, pretty amazing. I mean, that's incredible that that was shot on an iPhone 7. If you guys didn't know, I made 4 other videos while here in Canada covering techniques in photography and filmmaking, and I think they're really useful tips and tricks that'll help you guys up your photography and video game a lot. So if you haven't seen those, go check them out, and thanks for watching.